Good morning. Today, a little testimony or story. Um, Love embraced becomes love extended. So I met a buddy of mine less than a year ago, and I talked to him on the phone yesterday, and he was sharing a story from church on Sunday. Uh, and this is a guy that when he came into our group, um, the first day when he came, I ended up hugging him, and he told me later that I was the first man that he's hugged in, I think, close to 40 years. Um, and now the guy has embraced the love of God in his life, and he can't go anywhere without hugging people. But he was sharing a story on Sunday where he was sitting in church, and they were praying for healing for people inside. It was another church than the one I go to, but they were praying for people, and he saw a man with cerebral palsy, and he went up and he actually was praying for him, and he started describing how he was praying for him. And he said he laid his cheek on the man's cheek and prayed for him, for healing. And what I know in that moment when I was talking to him, his name's Curtis, when I was talking to him, that man, even if healing doesn't come in his life, what he knows is he's experienced the love of God flowing through Curtis. Love embraced becomes love extended. And this journey that we're on with God, so often we're looking at the destination instead of enjoying the journey with God, allowing Him to change us and soften our hearts and set us free from that bondage that we're in. Because when we're self-centered and self-seeking, we never can get to that point of being overwhelmingly compassionate and loving, because we're rooted in self. And that is, at the base of it. Instead of, there's beauty in that. It hit me this morning. I was praying and thinking about our conversation yesterday, and just to see the transformation in this guy's life. I love it, because when we're hurting and we're broken, we go inward. And as in the shack, it says that we're viewing life from the knothole of our pain. But when we understand the bigger picture, that we weren't created to live a life centered in self, that we're supposed to love God and love others, changes everything. But we first have to embrace the love of God in our life and see that we have created value and destiny and purpose that's not rooted in self, because that's what happened in the fall. We went inward, self-protection, the whole boundaries and everything. I don't think Jesus set up boundaries, right? He just continued to love people unconditionally. So when we become free of self, we're in that place of going towards freedom from self, we become more loving. We become more compassionate. We become free. Freedom from the bondage of self. Anyway, love you, Curtis. I will see you tonight. God bless y'all.